it probably bothers no one else, but I hate that these plugs are in the middle of the freaking wall and that you're able to see them. Know that it annoys me too. I guess. So, get used to this outfit, you're going to see it a couple of times. I'm filming a few videos today just because you guys have been really enjoying the Reddit sort of series that I'm doing, and I so appreciate the support, so I'm going to try and get out more, and to be able to do that, I'm going to be doing shorter videos. So we'll see how that goes. If you like the longer form, let me know. If you prefer the shorter form, let me know. Today, we are doing Reddit, obviously. Oh my god. I'm still getting stalked by my psycho ex-roommate 3 years later. Honey, change your name, change your postcode, change your phone number. 3 years ago, I, 24 female, moved in with my friend. We'll call her Karen. Yes, let's. 23 female. We had been friends for about a year, but had known each other and been acquaintances for roughly 10 years. This friend was known to be a little bipolar. Oh. But she respected me and knew I had way clearer boundaries. I've got like cat hair all over me. Way clearer boundaries than her other friends. We moved in with my now fiance, 26 male, in a 2-bedroom apartment. When we were paying 2/3 of the rent, while Karen paid 1/3. Makes sense. The first issue arose when she asked if she could move her dog in. Okay, and I said no problem. I was working as an assistant manager from anywhere from 40 to 55 hours a week and would come home to dog pee and poop everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Okay, that's animal abuse. Think floors, couch, walls?
Jesus Christ.
I guess pee if it's a dog, it's cocking its leg. And he chewed everything, got into the garage, the whole bit. I would let him out and clean up the mess, then inform Karen that she needed to take better care of her dog. Agreed, like that is literal animal abuse. She demanded that her job, which she typically worked 6-hour days, 6 hours? 6 hours a day, and she can't clean up after her dog. Okay, if you can't have an animal that you can't actually take care of and spend time with, you shouldn't have an animal. Simple as that. I'm sorry. I know it's good for people with mental health and stuff like that, but if you can't give an animal a good life, you shouldn't be having it. It's the same with if you can't afford vet's bills for them, which I know are expensive as fuck. Don't get me wrong. If you can't afford insurance for them, and if you can't afford the vet's bills, you should not have an animal. Because when they do get sick, and animals do get ill, accidents happen. Casper's as clumsy as anything. So things happen. The first year I had him, he had to be hospitalised for a whole day during COVID, so I couldn't even go and see him. And he hates, because he's a COVID cat. I didn't get him during COVID, just to be clear. I got him December 2019, so just before COVID. He didn't get to really know anybody, and I couldn't take him to regular appointments to get used to being at the vet because of fucking COVID. So what was my point? Yeah, it's expensive. Like, he's also had to have his teeth done. They were a bit inflamed, so they had to be like really cleaned. I have to brush his teeth now, and he hates it. I'm trying to keep his dental health as best as possible, because otherwise he's going to have to go back under like he did that time. And yeah, long story. Anyway, point is, if you can't give an animal a good life, if you can't afford their vet's bills, you should not have a pet or an animal. Animals are expensive. Even like when I had guinea pigs, I had to take them for surgeries and stuff. Animals are not cheap. So she demanded that her job, which was 6 hours a day, was too much for her, and that it was my job to take care of her dog. No, you brought the dog in. It's your responsibility. Meanwhile, especially if she's a fucking adult, like I hate when adults act like they're children, like give me a break. Meanwhile, she constantly called off and or showed up to work hours late. At one point, I refused to clean it, so at most, she would pick up poop, but she wouldn't scrub anything. She's disgusting. I witnessed one of her friends sleep with her face next to an unscrubbed dog stain on the couch and about vomited. I would have to tell that friend. Because how do you let your friend, even if it's somebody else, but how do you let somebody just sleep next to a dog stain? Surely you'd be able to smell it. The second big issue arose when second month's rent was due. I texted Karen that my fiance, we'll call him Bear, and I had our rent ready, and if we could get together to write a check to the renters. She told me the banks were closed and she didn't have the money, as if the banks not being open made up for your poor planning. Yet she knew when the rent was due. So we had to rearrange our finances to cover her third of the rent. I texted her that we covered it for her and that she owed us 1/3 of rent. She replied after a few hours that her mummy paid it, so her rent for next month would be covered. I replied that would mean that my fiance and I were 1/3 ahead and she would still owe next month's, as we were the ones that paid extra. She argued and was adamant that we were wrong and that she was not going to pay. Oh God. Another issue was food. This is why I'm so glad I've never had to live with roommates, because my God. Like, I know it's at some points you have to, but Jesus. I remember when I used to live with someone when I first moved in here. Now ex-boyfriend, obviously. But I remember I wanted a takeaway and I was like, I don't want to have to be buying 2 lots of food for a takeaway for both of us. And I ended up buying a takeaway and hiding it in a cupboard. Because I didn't want him to eat any of it. just wanted it for myself. What? So I can't imagine people like stealing your food or like your toothpaste or your fabric softener and stuff. Like I couldn't, or like having to complain about who's doing the washing up or the washing or cleaning overall, like the bathroom or the living room or what. Do you know what I mean? I can't, I couldn't. I'm so glad I live alone now. Okay, so in the first month that we lived there, we spent $600 on food to fill the house and pantry. Wow. While Karen shopped with me and bought equal amounts of food. I budget very well with food, and one way I do that is buying store brand products. Totally. Karen kept snapping that she didn't like store brand. Well, then you pay for it, bitch. And that I was pissing her off. I told her that what I buy for myself was none of her business. Yeah, exactly. Mind your business, bitch. As we were both buying our own groceries, I caught her sending her boyfriend to work with my food. Oh, I just can't. We're talking a whole 12-pack of stuff, and I got irritated. The food waste really ticked me off when one time I had friends over for a party and came out the next day to my food all thrown out or just shoved out of the fridge but still in containers. Karen's excuse was there was no room for her food in the fridge, so she emptied it completely. After 3 weeks, I ran out of $600 worth of food and had to yet again rearrange my budget to allow for more groceries. She sounds awful. After this, petty and lazy stuff happened all the time. I tried to wash my clothes in our shared washer and came to my wet clothes soaking across the basement floor. Oh, Jesus. We found a week-old rotisserie chicken in the microwave with maggots in it. That's literally, she lives in the most disgust. Like, I can only imagine if she lived by herself and no one was cleaning up after this woman. The Karen, I mean. There was so much more, but honestly, it's not worth all my energy typing. After my clothes were found strewn across the floor, I came up really heated and said that my shit better start getting respected, at which point Karen's boyfriend tried to step up to me and my fiance told him to watch himself. We love a boyfriend that is supportive of us. Karen turned around and refused to look at me, and I or talk while her boyfriend yelled that I needed to step up and clean up after Karen more because she was tired from work. She's an adult! Clean up after herself. It's not anyone's responsibility. You want someone to clean up after her? Pay for her to have a cleaner then. As if I wasn't working way more than her. At this point, I agreed to sign boyfriend's name, the Karen's boyfriend. We'll call him Stephen, onto the lease. I did this because it made it easier to sign my name off of the lease, so I informed Karen that I would be leaving as soon as possible. I came home from work to my furniture on the front porch. I moved it back and told Karen that she better not touch my stuff again before I move out. At which point she informed me that she paid rent early so I could leave since I didn't pay my share for the last month. This woman has got to be kidding me. As if it worked that way. The very next day, I got a screen recording sent to me of 15-minute Snapchat video of Karen's boyfriend Stephen going on meth-fueled rant, saying he was going to kick my ass for basically standing up for myself against his girlfriend and that my fiance was a big teddy bear. So if he tried to get in the way, he would knock him out. Then went on a rant saying the house being a mess was my fault and the dog mess was also my responsibility. These people are nuts. The whole video was a mess and you could tell he was on drugs, but it was enough to make us decide that we were just done. So I called my dad and asked for help moving furniture. We showed up to our apartment to find Stephen sitting there with a handgun on the coffee table in front of him and bear exploded. He grabbed a hold of Stephen and told him to call him a teddy bear to his face. Stephen tried to gouge his eyes out, and that's when my fiance went ham on this man. He was a wrestler in high school, and I've never seen someone get his ass kicked with only 2 total punches. At one point, he smashed his ribs between his arm and the ground, and I truly believe he broke them. I called the cops so that we could give our statements, and so the cops could watch while we took the rest of our belongings. I wanted our statements taken so that my roommate couldn't manipulate the situation. No charges were filed for either party. Karen has made posts saying it's on site. As soon as she sees me, it's on site. Really? But I have blocked her on all social media and went so far as to delete mutual funds that had no interest in forcing to take sides. Yeah, people like that are not worth your time. She has stalked multiple social media platforms and has had friends comment on statuses threatening me. That's psychotic. Here's the kicker. I thought she has been done obsessing over me for roughly 2 years now. I moved out and became a mum, and I'm excited to say we are pregnant again with our second. Recently, her fiance keeps coming up with the people you may know tab. I hate those. Although, at the same time, I actually quite like them because the second someone I used to date or used to know that I don't want ever to see me, I immediately go in and block. I felt like she was trying to stalk me again, so I blocked him too. Well, lo and behold, a friend came up to me and said that Karen was bragging that she found out the gender of my baby. I don't know I just thought that this was such weird behaviour and fit well in this thread. I feel like I will forever have a fan because no matter how hard I try to block her, I find out that she's studying my life. Too bad you can't block a person in real life. Oh my god. That was a lot. That already took up like 15 minutes. Start telling a different juicy secret to each of your friends. When Psycho repeats it, you know which friend to remove from your life. That's such a good idea. Psycho is obviously friends with someone in your life. Now is the time to figure out who and remove them from your life. When you figure it out, go off on whoever it is and let them know exactly how Psycho is and how absolutely batshit crazy she is. Then cut whoever it is out of your life. Yes, I did this and was horrified to find it was the person I would have trusted my life with. That's so sad. I hope that's not her partner. What a freaking psycho, literally. Like, you live in her head rent-free. Amazing, her dog Boo is her responsibility. Literally. Like, where does she get off asking you that? Have you thought about getting a restraining order on her and her boyfriend? Trust me, I thought the court accepted what I would have. Unfortunately, social media stalking, keeping a nasty house, and finding out the gender of my child is no way enough. That's a shame. I'm gobsmacked at my sister-in-law's entitlement. My husband's family had their annual dinner tonight. The youngest sister is an alcoholic. Oh god, that's not going to end well. Doesn't have a car and always needs a ride. Last year, the eldest sister was her chauffeur and didn't get to visit with the family as long as she wanted because baby sister was whining to go home. This year, my husband says he'll chauffeur baby sister. We are all aging and last year, the eldest brother passed. So you'd think baby sister could deal with a few hours of family, but nope. The second she's done eating, she's ready to leave. I said, you know, you can't bully him into leaving like you do, sis. He told her to relax and let him finish eating. Next thing I know, she's asking the widow of the eldest brother to help her in the bathroom. I knew I should have followed and I wish I had. The alcoholic convinced the widow to let her use her phone. She called a member of her church to come and give her a ride home. Well, at least she didn't ask him, I guess. However, before that good Christian showed up, my husband was ready to leave. We are driving her home when the eldest sister calls me to find out if she's with us, and that's when I find out the person from the church at the restaurant is at the restaurant to pick her up. Oh my god. My husband asks, what the fuck? I asked, why would she do that? She actually tells me it's none of my business. I said, if you called someone from the church for a ride, why are you in a vehicle? She says, I wanted to go home and I'm not talking to you. I said, good, hear this. You are obnoxious in your entitlement of I'm the baby by minutes. Therefore, be my chauffeur, pay for my food, buy me drinks, let me finish your beer. Because if I don't get my way, I'll figure out who to manipulate so I can. About that time, we exit the interstate and there's a homeless woman yelling crazy. And I said, look, there's your future.
Emotional, damn it!
Wow. You're all enabling her by pandering to her whining. Is it any wonder it just keeps on going? That's such a good point. Like the fact that she's an adult and you just keep doing that for her, you're not helping anyone. My neck hurts an airplane incident, man. Okay, we're going to do this as the last one. I know only a few stories today, but like I said, there'll hopefully be multiple videos up, so apologies, but that first one was juicy as fuck. So, my neck hurts, a plane incident. I was on West Coast to East Coast trip last year. Per my usual protocol, I booked months in advance and upgraded to a premium economy window seat. I generally prefer the window as I like to see the scenery, don't we all? Well, actually no, not all of us do, but I do. And I can usually manage my bladder. I get on this flight in row 8 and there's a woman in my seat. Seat stealers. That's my seat, I believe, I said politely. Yes, the stewardess said I could sit here because I have a pinched nerve in my neck. I said, I can't believe she would just do that as I paid extra for the seat. Let's get her over here. The woman said, don't call her. And couldn't I just sit in her middle seat? No, that's the worst seat. You can ask for people to move seats, but only if it's an upgraded seat. If you are downgrading someone's seat, like a middle seat, or like you go from, I don't know, business to economy or premium economy to fuck all economy or whatever it is, you don't get to ask that. No, don't be that entitled and selfish. The woman said, don't call her, and couldn't I just sit in her middle seat for the flight because of her neck, since the airline didn't accommodate her disability. That's because it's not actually a disability. I explained that was between her and the island. Actually, hang on. It can be accommodated. She just had to pay more, which she refused to do. Therefore, that is not her seat. Get the fuck up. So I said no, that I had made arrangements in advance, and that is what she should do, particularly with a disability. I pressed the call button, a flight attendant came over. I said this woman is seeking an accommodation for her neck, but she's in my seat. Before the flight attendant can say anything, the woman gets up angrily and says, fine, sit in your seat, which of course I do. She grumbled for most of the flight, which I happily ignored with my sound cancelling headphones. At the end of the flight, Despite her disability, she jumps up and manages to retrieve her enormous carry-on luggage. Her neck appeared to have miraculously healed in a 5-hour flight. There are so many entitled comment out there. She was one. Yeah, no. This person's called a seat stealer, definitely. If a seat stealer tells you not to call a flight attendant, call a flight attendant anyways. Yeah, totally. I have some issues that may need a window seat. I always reserve a window seat. Once I got on the plane and found that my seat assignment had been changed without notice, I called over the flight attendant, calmly explained the situation, including having a reserved window seat, and asked if they could help me. The flight attendant found a window seat. I thanked them. Look at us adulting. Literally, that's all it takes. Why are people like this?
Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this short video. Like I said, if you enjoy the short content so that I can put it up more often, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you like it. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the recent subs. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all your support on my recent videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!